This man walked in on his wife and best friend and found them in bed together. This next threaded story is gonna shock you. My 27M wife, 27F, cheated on me with my best friend, 26M. We boast. I don't even know where to begin. I can't describe how I'm feeling right now or how to process any of this. I made this account initially to see if anyone else has gone through something remotely similar to this, and unfortunately, it's not that common. I apologize in advance for the length of this post. I just needed to get all of this out because I thought I'd go insane. I met my wife, let's call her Sue, in college. We're both 18 at the time. We hit it off as soon as we went on our first date. And we were spewing I love yous within weeks of us dating. She kind of pursued me, but I was glad as hell she did. We shared our deepest insecurities and secrets with each other. And when her dad passed away in her senior year of college, I was there for her through the whole ordeal. Her father had pancreatic cancer, and when he was hospitalized, I'd spend nights at the hospital with her so she wouldn't be alone. We got through it, and at that point in time strengthened our bond. She told me she didn't know what she would have done if I hadn't been there for her. She called me her soulmate. I knew I was going to marry this girl. And sure enough, I popped the question about 2 years after we graduated. At that point in time, life couldn't get any better. I married the girl of my dreams, had a well-paying job immediately after graduating, and both of our families loved us. My best friend, we'll call him Dave, and I had what I could only describe as an unbreakable brotherly bond. Or so I thought. We'd known each other since the 3rd grade, and he was the brother I never had. He was also married and moved away with his wife because she landed a lucrative job in a law firm. About a year ago, his wife died in a car crash, and this really broke him. He moved back to our hometown after, but he was never the same. I tried to be there for him, but he wouldn't engage with anyone. No one understood the pain he was going through. So I asked my wife if she could talk to him, seeing as she had lost a loved one and that maybe Dave could relate better with someone who went through something similar. Yes, I know this was a huge mistake. We'd pay him visits daily. She would spend hours on end at his place, even without me there. They were going on hikes together, watching movies, and not inviting me, grabbing lunch, all the things couples do. Now, obviously, this was far more interaction than I had intended for them to have, and it didn't make me comfortable. But Dave was doing much better from it. It's important to say that Dave and Sue never liked each other before all of this happens. This was because Sue always thought of Dave as a douche. Before he married his descended wife, Dave was bouncing from relationship to relationship. And even after he got his descended wife, he constantly cheated on her. As a result, Sue had a particular dislike for him and always questioned how I could be friends with someone with such low morals. This disdain for Chris is also what made me oblivious to what was to come. As I mentioned, Sue and Dave became inseparable to the point where she would invite him to things I had planned for us as a couple. Moreover, she was portraying characteristics of what I now know to be classic cheater behavior. Always on her phone, becoming increasingly distant, little to no intimacy, and coming home very late. At this point, it was all too suspicious, and one day, she was texting, and I asked her, who was she talking to? She said it was one of her girlfriends, and when I asked her to see what they were talking about, she became very irritated and called me possessive. When I talked to Dave about how uncomfortable their friendship was making me, he assured me nothing was up and even accused me of not trusting him and my own wife. I was getting gaslit. This continued until one day, Sue went out again. She said she was going to her sister's house for the weekend because she needed some space from me because I was driving her crazy with my accusations. I was still very suspicious and called her sister to confirm if she indeed expecting Sue to visit. She confirmed that she was expecting her, but she didn't arrive. She confirmed she was, but Sue had not yet to arrive. Mind you, she had left around 3 p.m. and her sister's house is around 4 hours away from where we live. It was 10 p.m. Something in the back of my mind told me to go to my friend's house, so I did. Sure enough, my wife's car is parked a couple of feet away from my friend's house. At this point, it was very clear as day to what was going on. And I hate to admit it, but I cried hard. After a few minutes, I decided to go in and see if this is what was really happening. I went in through the back door, which I knew would be open. I quietly made it in, and I could hear my wife moaning. I was shaking. When I made it to the door of his bedroom, I could see through the creak my wife bent over on his nightstand. I'll never get this image out of my head. I'm literally crying as I'm writing this down. I pushed the door wide open and they froze, staring at me. It took every ounce of my being not to beat the living hell out of Dave. I just walked away and got into my car. I could hear them crumbling, and my wife started screaming at me to stop and that she can explain. I didn't want to look at her. I don't know what I would have done, so I just drove away. I cried the entire driveway home. They were both spamming me with calls. I went to one of my college friends and had been there for the past week or so. I can't eat, I can't sleep, and I can't think of anything else. I informed my work of what was going on, and they were enough to give me time off. I've been getting phone calls from Dave and Sue, as well as both of our families. I let my family know I was alright and would be back soon, but I haven't responded to anyone else ever since. This hurts so bad, I want to die. I want to be gone from this world, but I'm too much of a coward to do it myself. I'm trying to be strong, but my resolve is wavering. How can someone you loved so selflessly do this? I don't know what to do. How do I deal with this? Please help me. Update 1. First off, I want to thank all of you for your support and words of advice. Y'all made this time in my life somewhat bearable. Some of you shared your own stories and made me realize this is something I can come back from. I had many thoughts about self-deletion, but I think I'm past that now. Thank you so much for caring. As many of you suggested, as well as family and friends, I contacted a lawyer and met up with her yesterday. I gave her all my details. She seemed to be very motivated to help me come out of this financially whole as possible. Given the circumstances, I still love my wife dearly, but I don't know if this is something I can get over. I received lots of messages from Dave too, but I don't want to read them. I often switch from sorrow to rage and don't know how to feel right now. Should I try and see if reconciliation is possible? Or should I just end this marriage now and save myself more heartbreak? My family knows everything, and apparently Sue confessed what she had done to everyone. I've been away from everyone for more than 2 weeks now, but I still don't know what to do. The pain still feels fresh. Every time I close my eyes, I can see nothing else but Sue and Dave together. And the pain doesn't seem to be lessening. I know most of you are saying to just divorce, and I would want to say the same thing too, but things aren't that black and white. When you are in that situation, given all this new info, I'd appreciate any advice, particularly from people who had been here, betrayed spouses, and waywards. How did you manage to move past this? Is this even possible? Right now, I'm almost certainly going to move on with my divorce, but I still just need reassurance I'm making the right decision. I've read all your comments and felt I needed to add this. I was told by her, as well as her family and friends, that she has been living with her sister for the past few weeks. In one of the emails, she had explained that she has only spoken to Dave once since I found out about the full NC with him. Her mother called me and apologized for her daughter's behaviors via text. I didn't pick up any of her calls. She said that Sue is in individual counseling at the moment. In another one of her emails, she said she was never going to leave me for Dave. She has feelings for him, but she doesn't love him. Dave is supposedly leaving soon, but is apparently holding it off until he speaks to me face to face. There's a lot of other stuff I haven't addressed, and I'm probably leaving out some details. But some of my family and friends are saying I should just talk to her and move on from there. That's where I'm at now. Update 2. So, I took some time off of Reddit and other social media to reflect on this marriage and the steps I was going to take moving forward. I was getting lots of advice from the kind of people on here, as well as family and friends. However, I wasn't sure what I really wanted. A lot has happened since then, so this might be a novel. Bear with me. When I look back on the marriage, most of it was filled with little else but happy memories, which is why I was trying so hard to find reasons to stay. However, when I started thinking about her cheating, how she and Dave gaslit me and made me question my sanity, the only thing I felt was rage. The deeper I looked, the angrier I got. I will never forget how angry Sue would get when I questioned her on where she'd been when she came home late, and the disgusted look on Dave's face when I asked him, man to man, if there was anything between him and my wife. The cheating was bad enough, and even worse, it was with my best friend. I'll never get over it. Fair enough, I was played like the fool I was. But it takes a special kind of person to lie so effortlessly, so well. I don't even know how they were able to flip the switch like that. I remember one night when she came home late, about 2 days before I found out. She was telling me how much she loved me and how horny she was when she was driving home thinking about me. Now, I'm almost certain she had come home from Dave's because she wasn't wearing any panties. She had sex with both of us back to back. I flipping kissed her. This whole situation made me feel like a wimp. How could I have let them walk all over me like that? I feel so emasculated. The more I reflect, the more I got the urge to head over to Dave's, but I couldn't. There's no justice for me, not with our justice system. They get to torment me, assault me mentally, but if I retaliate, I'm the one who gets to be put on jail, and God knows for how long. I spoke with my lawyer about this, and she urged me not to do anything stupid. Not only would I go to jail, but I would jeopardize my chances in a divorce. She suggested I see a therapist, but I don't want to. I don't see the need. I was still getting spammed with emails from Sue, and they were just making me angrier. She was still spewing the same response as before, and how miserable her life would get without me. She even had the nerve to send me Bible verses on forgiveness. If I mattered that much, why do it? I started going to work again because I wanted to be busy. Being distracted has really helped me cope better. And I don't drink as much as I used to do at the beginning. One day, while at work, I received a letter from Sue. I wanted to just throw it away, but decided to read it. She talked about her individual counseling, and it helped her discover some underlying issues she was having with herself. The biggest of all was her low self-esteem. She explained that the discrepancy in our attractiveness made her very self-aware, and that deep down she wanted to feel desired by someone other than me. According to her, her sister has always been much prettier than her, and this contributed to her low self-esteem. She said that even though she knew I was attracted to her and that I made her feel beautiful, she sort of wanted that validation from someone else. She apologized again and said it wasn't an excuse, but that she was simply looking for a way to make sure it never happens again. If should I decide to give her another chance. She then proceeded to ask if we could try marriage counseling to work things out. I still didn't respond to anything she or her family sent me at this point, so I just ignored it. Anyway, I started the divorce proceedings, and the first order of business was splitting our finances. And unfortunately, I couldn't untangle myself from her without her consent. We each have separate accounts, as well as a joint saving account, and unfortunately, I cannot take what I'm entitled to from it without her, even though I make significantly more money than she does and have contributed the most of the money in this account. I'll probably have to split it 50-50. So I just proceeded with the filling of the divorce papers. She was served a few weeks ago, and then the shit show started. The very day she was served, she showed up at my apartment with the divorce petition in her hands. I don't know how she found out where I was. We just stared at each other for what felt like forever. And all the pain from the night came back. All the emotions I felt returned with renewed vigor. I almost teared up again, but I didn't. She looked at me like she had been crying, and she rushed towards me and tried to give me a hug. I gently pushed her away, and this somehow made me feel hysterical. She started shouting, asking why I was giving up on us so easily, and if we would just talk it out. At this point, I figured I just wanted to get away from her. Looking at her gave me a wave of a different emotion, so I wanted to get away before I did or said anything I would regret. I was trying to go back to my car, and she threw herself on the top of the hood. I asked her what she wanted, and she said she just wanted to talk, that we couldn't end our marriage in such a manner, because she was clearly not taking a no for an answer, and she was making a scene. We got into my apartment, and I just sat down and listened to what she had to say. Again, she said she would do anything to save our marriage, and that she doesn't love Dave, and that she was sorry. She said she did some research on how we can move on forward, and suggested a trial separation. In this separation, she said I could date whoever I wanted, but that I should hold off on a divorce, and at the very least, give her the chance to mend our friendship, and then our relationship as husband and wife. She suggested a lot of other crazy stuff like one-sided open marriage in my favor, tried showing me stories of other couples who have survived infidelity, and even suggested that we should just move to a different state or even a different country just the two of us. That part kind of hurt me because we had spoken about moving out and starting our family not too long before all the shit happened. When she was done, we sat down in silence again. We stared at each other, and then I asked her why. Why him? Why cheat on me with him and then come back only after I caught her? She started sobbing really hard when I asked her these questions. She said she felt really guilty even during the acts, but that she didn't even know how to stop. That she was so deep in the affair that she didn't think of the consequences and what she was going to lose. She said that the counseling made her realize that she would have probably cheated on me at that point, if not with Dave, then with someone else. This was supposedly because of the same underlying issue that she was unaware of. I asked her if she loved Dave, and she promised me she didn't love him, that they hadn't spoken since I left, and that she doesn't even know where he is at now, and that she loved only me and would do anything to make up for what she had done to me. I asked her if she had ever cheated on me before all of this, and she swore on her dead father that this was the first and last time. I asked her who else knew about her and Dave. She hesitated, and then she said her sister. But only she knew for a few days before I found out. And she implored her to end it and come clean to me. You guys who suggested that the sister knew about it were spot on. I also asked her why she was begging, why she didn't leave me to be with Dave, if she was only doing this because she felt guilty and not because she actually wanted to be with me. She answered saying she was doing it because she loves me and because she knows she made some horrible choices. We talked for a long time, a lot of crying on her end, but not for me. I cried enough the first time I found out and didn't even have any more tears to shed over this. Then I asked her if there was anything else she wanted to tell me, if there was anything else she was keeping a secret. She started sobbing again and asked me not to get angry. I got really nervous when she said that. She started crying for a bit before I urged her to say it because she was making me uneasy. Then it came out. She said she found that she was pregnant not too long after I had left, and that she got an abortion because she wasn't sure who the father was. She said she thought it turned out to be Dave's. There would be no room for reconciliation, and she had felt she had to do it. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was in shock, and she started begging even more not to let this be the end of our relationship. I just went numb. I asked her to leave me. I asked her to leave, and she begged me to stay, that we still needed to talk. All the begging was simply infuriating, coupled with the news I just heard. I asked her how far along she was when she found out she was pregnant, and she said a few weeks. Then it hit me. Wait, you said in an email before that you started only having sex with Dave for about a week before I found out. Was that a lie? She nodded. She explained that she only said that because she didn't want to hurt me with the details, and she was trying to minimize it. She confessed that they were physical for less than a month. She tried to counsel me, but I pushed her away. I asked her to leave and never come back. She tried saying something, but I just started yelling at her to leave. She asked if she wanted to talk. She asked if we would talk again once I proceeded everything, and I refused. I told her I found a job in another state and would be moving on as soon as a divorce was underway. In our state, there's a 2-month cool-off period after you file. I had already planned on doing this and was just finalizing everything before I resigned from my current job. I had already given my boss a notice at that point. When she heard this, it was more the same crying and bailing like before. I told her to leave or I would call the police. She reluctantly left, and I just lay on the floor wondering where I went wrong. How did my marriage get to this point in such a short period of time? I just couldn't understand it. I was somewhat sure of the divorce before, but after she and I spoke, I was now more sure of my decision than ever before. I just ignored all the efforts on Sue's end for contact again. However, a few days ago, this was on Thursday, I just received a phone call from my mom that Sue was in the hospital. Apparently, she was hospitalized for a drug overdose. This has all felt like a nightmare. I still don't know how to process all of this. Why is all of this happening? I visited Sue in the hospital and she seemed to be okay, but she was checked in a psychic ward. That's where things are at right now. I still have no idea why she would do this. And the time I visited her, she was asleep. It hurts because I still love her. And right now, I'm just happy she's okay. I haven't been thinking of the divorce given what's going on right now. How do I even proceed? There's probably a lot more important details I'm leaving out, but adding them would just make this unbearably long. I just need some suggestions on what I should do next.